Well, shit. Look at you with your beach ball sized lady nuts. Welcome to Walking Dead Season 7 character tier list. I gotta change the tiers, so while I just talk, we'll do that. Sorry it took me a while to get to this one because, I took my time with Season 7. And I'll discuss, what I like and dislike about it at the end. But, yeah. It just took me a while to get through this season. Alright, so, as per usual, there'd be spoilers to this for the season. And, of course, you know, character deaths and all that and whatnot. So, if you haven't watched this season, or you haven't gotten this far or whatever, don't watch this video. Go watch something else. Anyways. So, yeah, this Season 7. A lot of characters, a lot to talk about. It's quite interesting. So, we're going to get right in with what my guess is Aaron here. It doesn't necessarily look like Aaron, but I guess he is. So, I wrote down, of course, stuff like I did last time about Aaron and all the other characters. For him, specifically, all I've got is, once again, just in general, he's just a kind guy, puts his life on the line, save others, and scavenge for everyone's safety. And I like him overall. He's a pretty good guy. He's showed up a lot more frequently towards the end of the season, which is nice. For the most part, he kind of just there, despite being the reason that everyone's in Alexandria in the first place. I feel like he should have a bigger role, but, they write, like, whatever they want to write, so. Yeah, I like him. He's pretty good. Pretty cool guy. This is Amber. So, basically all she wanted to do was die the entire time she was on screen. She didn't really do anything cool or anything bad, so really just neutral. I don't know who the hell that is, not gonna lie. I have literally no recollection of seeing anyone like that my entire life. So I'm gonna stick them in neutral. This chick from Oceanside. Now, she hasn't really done anything as far as I know. She's just kind of been, in the 2 episodes she appears in. But I don't know. I don't like her attitude from what I've seen of her. I don't even know her name. And she don't look really nice. I don't know. I dislike her just because she doesn't look cool. We're going to kind of skim through the characters that aren't very important. Stuff like Ben, he's sort of important. Stuff like this guy who I don't even know who that is. Not so important. So that goes there. And I'm going to just go through and take care of everybody that I'm just like, who are you? And stuff like that. Big Joey. Here's Big Joey, or Big John, or Big whatever. And he's kind of funny, because he just, like, is a fat slob, and is scared of Negan, and just wants to do his work at the Saviors, and, well, he got killed by Daryl. I think just because of his name is kind of funny, I like him. Heath. So Heath here, do I have anything written down for him? I don't. I think that's because he didn't do anything. According to my friend, who has watched the whole show, basically, he just runs. He's just gone. Alright, so basically, he and Tara go out, and they try and look for stuff like guns or something, and Tara gets cornered and jumps, or not jumps, but I guess gets pushed off of a bridge. He just runs away, and is never seen again. And according to my friend, he is genuinely gone. Like, they wrote him off by him just running away. That doesn't take away from him, though. I liked him before, and I liked him now, despite him not doing a whole lot, This guy, he's, like, not even named. So, neutral. Yeah. So, a lot of these characters I don't recognize, and I think it's because despite them being named, they showed up for, like, 1 friggin' episode or 3 scenes. You know what I mean? So, let's go with Gavin here. Now, here's Gavin. He's a savior, and I would assume most people would dislike him as a savior, because that's who he is. But there's something I like about him, and it's that he's not just a complete prick to everybody. That's what I like. He tries to stop any fighting. He tries to just get his job done and go through with whatever meeting that he has to do with the kingdom. He doesn't want any issues. He doesn't want his men to just be losers, which is what Jared does anyways. We'll get to him. Who boy, I like him honestly. I do. I think he's pretty cool. He's just like a savior that is no bullshit. He doesn't want to fight. He doesn't want to have to do anything unnecessary. He wants to get in, wants to get out, nice and quick and clean. And he's kind of like a balancing act, which you kind of don't expect from the saviors. You expect them all to just be bossing people around, but he's not really. He's nice. So that's probably the only savior besides Negan that's going to be any higher than hate. uh, who else do we have? We have Gregory. Oh boy, Gregory. I've got a lot to say about Gregory. Oh boy. So Gregory pisses me off. So here's what I have written about him. He seems quite rude. Earlier in the season, he tried to push Maggie and Sasha out of the hilltop. No, like, just get out. I don't want anything to do with you guys. I don't want the saviors to be any, poopy to me. And despite Maggie being pregnant, still wants to kick him out, which I think is really, it's kind of ridiculous. She needs medical attention, and she's pregnant in case something goes wrong or whatever. You can't just kick her out and let her survive on her own. Maybe Sasha, because Sasha can survive on her own. She doesn't need any help. But do that to Maggie, that's really mean. Later on was really considering just straight up stabbing Maggie in the back, like, with a knife. When she was trying to get a plant out the ground, And then, had to get his ass saved by her, so. Yeah, he's really just, he's annoying. He has no respect for the dead. He took Glenn's watch right off of his grave and cut the balloons free, I would assume, because they just disappeared, so my assumption is he cut the balloons off the graves. And he's like, why the hell are you burying our dead here? It's supposed to burn them. I was like, okay, you don't know these people, and, it's just kind of disrespectful. If these people want to bury Abraham and Glenn, spoilers there, they're dead, which is something we should probably just get those two out of the way. Yeah, I don't know, it's just kind of dumb to me. I don't see Abraham on here, which is weird, but alright. So yeah, that's Gregory's annoying, and on top of that, doesn't want to work with Alexandria. He's a stubborn ass and won't listen for the greater good of two communities, and make that three later on. So, yeah, pretty much just, Gregory, you suck, I hate you, you're annoying. Well, not annoying, but, he's annoying, yeah, because every time he's on the screen, you just know he's going to be a pain in the ass to deal with and see. Glenn, I have to get Glenn out of the way here. Glenn dies. That's it. That's the only thing he does this season, is he gets killed. But that doesn't mean I still don't love him. He shows up for one episode, and I love him anyways, he's just, I can't not. Yeah, Abraham's not on here. At least I don't see him. He'd be in love anyways, because Abraham's cool. I like him. Who do we have next? Let's go Cindy. And the reason why I single her out is because she's the only person at Oceanside that has a brain. The only one willing to negotiate with Tasha? Yeah, Tasha. With Tara, and speak with other people. She was willing to spare Tara's life, willing to help her escape, get her out, back to Alexandria. And she was willing to speak with Rick when Alexandria came to Oceanside to take their weapons. But, her mom, her grandmother actually, is just annoying as hell and just said nope, nope, no. But I say I like Cindy because she's, like I said, the only one at Oceanside that had a brain, really. We'll get to her grandma, Natanya, right here. Oh man, Natanya's just annoying. Just comes off as an old angry bitch and just refuses, like Gregory, just refuses to work with anyone. Oh, you can't beat the saviors. Blah, 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 blah. Like, it's just, I hate her, and she's controlling her granddaughter, like, Cindy, you can't do this and that, and then, like, come on, just get out of here. If you're going to be a negative Nancy, go, leave. Let's see here. Just chewing in on these Doritos. This guy, one of the scavengers, he's weird. He worked with Yuden, or whatever her name is. Jadis. Yeah, Jadis. What a ridiculous name. I don't know. He just looks weird, too. I don't like him. Just from the looks, I don't like him. And the fact that he works with the scavengers, Eric, there's one we can kind of nab out of the way. Eric basically does nothing, ever. Where is he? I know I have him written in here somewhere. There he is. Eric finally understanding, fighting the Saviors. Barely shows up. I kind of forget he's on the show sometimes. That's true. But he fought with them. He fought by Aaron's side. And I'm glad that he, was kind of arguing with Aaron in one episode, just like, dude, I don't want to see you out there getting hurt. I don't want you to fight these Saviors. I think we should just do something, whatever. But eventually he came, decided with everyone that wanted to fight, so that's nice of him. I guess I'll put him in, like I said, he almost never shows up, or when he does, he never has any speaking roles, and you kind of forget he's there. The doctor here. The doctor is nice. And then he was framed by Dwight for letting Sherry out, go free in the wilderness, and, well, I mean, that's just, quite rude, if you ask me, to be framed, by Dwight. Dwight, he's one that we're going to have to really discuss a bit. I'd say I like this doctor, and especially like his death, because Negan chucked him into a furnace and he burned to death. Undeserved death. Did not need to happen. I don't know why Negan did that. I feel like anyone could have realized that this doctor was not trying to do anything behind Negan's back. Same goes for his brother. He's just a nice dude. He's a nice doctor. And hopefully this guy doesn't end up in a furnace. Who else do we have? This random chick, she has a name. I don't remember her name. I think her name is Diane. Yeah, her name is Diane. She works for the Kingdom. I haven't seen enough of her to really judge, so it looks like Maggie, but it's definitely not, because it's an E. Eugene, so it's like an F, and then EF, so it has to be an F. I don't know who that is, though. We'll have to come back. Who is that? Who the hell is that? His name starts with a C. Look at this bowl cut. It's got to be a savior. I have no clue who that is. You go there. I don't know who you are. Is this Davy here? Is this Rapey Davy? It looks like it. Assuming this is Rapey Davy, I'm gonna put you in hate because he did some naughty, or he attempted some naughty on Sasha, and Negan had to go and drive a friggin' knife through his neck. So that happened. Tobin, I have something written down for Tobin, and it is, he didn't do anything. I can't recall any time this season he had a speaking role, period. But I still like him. He's an alright guy from the previous seasons. I don't know how I'm supposed to judge him if he did literally jack squat this season. I remember nothing. He hadn't had any speaking roles at all. Picking out Maggie. Alright, Maggie. Usually I have not much to say about her, and I don't think I do still. The tractor driving made me laugh, that's all. And I guess she also helped form a bit of a alliance with Hilltop, like teaching them and training them to get them ready to go fight with Alexandria. So, yeah, that's cool. That's about it. I don't know. That's like all I can. I swear that does not. I guess it's from a different season. No, I don't love her. I like her, but not love. Not love tier for me. Yeah, I don't know. For such an important character, I just don't see her doing a lot of stuff. Though this season, she did do a lot more, but most of it was just Hilltop things, because that's where she was the whole season, out of safety. So, who else do we have? We have Jerry, who I like. Jerry's just kind of funny. He's King Ezekiel. We'll get to him next, actually. He's kind of King Ezekiel's, like, side henchman. Henchman? I don't know. I guess a sidekick, sure. I mean, that's more of like a comics, like, superhero thing, but... Yeah, Jerry's pretty cool. I don't know. Kind of funny. He likes eating stuff, and, yeah. He just looks like a happy dude. King Ezekiel. Ooh. I was laughing my ass off at this guy. It was funny. The whole idea of a king just makes me laugh. Like, just the fact that there's a king who calls himself a king, acts like a king, and controls his, as a leader, his thing like a kingdom, is just, it's funny, but it's really cool, honestly. It's not like an all-powerful controller like the governor or Negan so far. He's not an all-powerful leader, I'll say that. He seems to speak with his people and others, and lets people go free, be themselves and be happy within the walls of his place. And that's exactly what I have here. Seems like a nice humble fellow. The king gimmick is really funny to me. I like it. earlier in the season, it was about halfway through the season, he was talking to Rick, and he just simply didn't want to fight the Saviors because he's like, we have our deal, and we've never had any issues. Why fight them? We provide for them. That's all we got to do. Basically, yeah. Didn't realize that the Saviors were much worse than they seemed. And I don't think he understood that the Saviors really need to be dealt with at that time. And he wouldn't make a deal with Rick, and I feel like that kind of annoyed me, and I wasn't sure, like, okay, you gotta, like, realize, dude, like, these people are bad, even if you haven't seen it, and the people inside your place haven't seen it either, so it's kind of, he needs to realize that. Eventually he did. And one thing that's really cool about him is his tiger, Shiva. She looks pretty damn good. Not gonna lie. Like, that's some great CG. It looks great. This show's budget went entirely to that damn tiger, because the deer looks horrible. And I gotta mention that. I just have to. If you watch season 7, you know what deer I'm talking about. And my god, it is bad. So clearly the budget went to the friggin' tiger. And the tiger looks great. I think that's awesome. And basically commanded Shiva, King Ezekiel, commanded Shiva to go bite somebody's ass right in the finale of the season and save Carl at basically the last split of a second. Because if that tiger didn't show up, Carl would have had his brains bashed in. So King Ezekiel, there's some times where I'm like, man, you gotta open up your eyes and realize these saviors are people you don't want to mess around with. You just need to deal with them, you can't beat around the bush. If you're gonna fight them, you gotta fight them. And yeah, I think that really doesn't outweigh anything that is good about him. I think he's really cool. I love him so far. Michonne didn't do a whole lot this season. She just kicked some ass, and that's about all I can say. I love her. She's cool. Benjamin. This guy. This little kid. I like him. And it's really a shame what happened to him. Basically, Morgan taught him Aikido and taught him how to, be something. See, King Ezekiel is basically his caregiver because his father's dead, and Benjamin wanted to live up to be something like his dad, and so did King Ezekiel. He wanted Benjamin to learn something, to find something that's good for him, find him a skill that he can use to help, and that's exactly what Morgan did. Morgan taught him Aikido, and I thought that was really cool of him. And he also wanted to learn some things from Carol as well. Morgan and Benjamin had this nice father-son-ish bond, and I liked that. Eventually, though, for literally no reason at all, he was shot and died. That was stupid. It's disappointing. Because he's such a nice person, is it really necessary to kill him? I don't know. But I'd say for the short time he was on, I really liked Benjamin. I loved him a lot. He's just a sweet kid. And I think this is his brother? I'm not too sure. No, his brother looks younger than that. So I don't think it's him, no. Though I don't recognize that person, so I'm not sure here. Carl I actually wrote some things down for Carl, didn't I? Yes, I did. Carl bonding with Enid in general has got someone new to protect and care for, obviously along with basically all of Alexandria. Carl going to the Savior's compound. Now that was his shining moment of this season. I love that. It was just badass of him. Going to the Savior's compound, killed 2 of his people, Negan's people. Just killed 2 Saviors, okay? That's not easy to do, and Negan was impressed that he found his way all the way here and managed to actually kill some people. Invited him in for lunch, made fun of his eyeball, and just, made him sing a song, and basically trolled him. Yeah, that's it. And then Carl's like, yo, I'm gonna kill you. Jump out that window now before I do it. Or something like that. So, yeah. Carl, once again, he's Carl. He's doing good. This season, I don't know, some characters, especially the Saviors, have a lot I have to speak about. And, not so much for characters like Carl or whatever. Despite him having his big moments, a lot of the major characters kind of didn't do a whole lot. It's more of just specific ones that shine. Carol, this whole season, she's basically been nowhere. And I do have quite a bit actually written about her, despite her not being around a whole lot. Carol. I love immediately after meeting Ezekiel, Carol is just disappointing, wondering what in the fuck is this circus shit. I think that's exactly what she said. Carol is in absolute disbelief that there's a frickin' tiger and king, and that there's like, hear thee, like, what the hell? Yeah. I'm not a fan of Carol wanting to be alone and not fight. She can hold herself, yes, and she can live on her own. But I miss the old blow-up people Carol that goes on a killing spree. Like, that's the cool Carol. I want to see more of that. And she kind of did come back for a short time right at the end. But I didn't like that she just disappeared for the like most of the season, just living alone, just completely just written off like half the season. And anytime she showed up on the screen, she was like, "Go away, I don't like you." You know, I just find it annoying. I understand why she wants to be alone, and she doesn't. She just doesn't want to see people die. That's basically your reason. She doesn't want to kill people. She doesn't want to see people that she knows and loves die, or know about it. But you know, she can prevent it if she just fought earlier. You know what I mean? And finally, decided though, thankfully, to return to fighting after learning Glenn and Abraham died. It was right on that. Immediately. Like the second Morgan said that, you could tell she's just like, I gotta do something. That's just awful. And her meeting up with Daryl was really sweet and all that. I like that. I'm gonna say I put her in neutral. Because I just don't like how she was this whole season. She basically just was nowhere. In fact, I'm honestly gonna put her in dislike. I'm gonna be like that. I don't really like Carol this season. Next is Daryl, who basically just spent this entire season either in captivity or hiding in a completely different place. He did nothing this season. But there's one very, very important thing to note. It was him that got Glenn killed. That's very... And Glenn here didn't need to die at all. Wasn't necessary. Shouldn't have even happened. It was only Abraham that was dead. But Daryl couldn't resist. He wanted to go and attack Negan, and he jumped out from a spot. Negan said, can't be doing that again. Clonked Glenn over the head with his bat. So honestly, because Daryl basically didn't do anything this whole season that of interest, to say, I'm going to put him in neutral, which is kind of not expected. I mean, the last time he was this low was the first season. But I don't dislike him for... I mean, obviously, I have some hate for him for getting Glenn killed, but I don't know. I feel like I gotta do a balance here. Like, I still like the guy, but I don't utterly hate him for one action. So it's like a balancing act to put him in neutral. And again, he just didn't do anything this season that is worth noting. This guy, I don't know who this is. Neutral. Gabriel. Ooh, Gabriel's got some nice things to talk about, I think. Yes, he does. I like his speeches, his little speeches, especially to Rosita, where he is spoken to multiple times throughout the season. He's like, hey, we can win. Just need to just wait for the right moment, or we can create it. But we need everybody. You can't just go out, go guns blazing with a single bullet. You can't just go find guns and go and attack the compound. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to be safe. You're not going to do it. We need everybody here, everyone working together. And I really like that, you know? Then there was a moment that kind of made me a little disappointed in him. When he ran away with the entire pantry's worth of food. And I was like, dude, that's just not right, man. But I felt weird because, one, it's so unlike Gabriel to do something like that. He isn't selfish. I mean, he had his moments in Season 5, but he's definitely grown and is he's much more on the humble side than he was before. So I just didn't think it felt so wrong for him to do that. But I also disliked that he did it, so I wasn't sure. Eventually, I realized, okay, he was forced to do it by somebody, so I retracted the disappointment, you know? Yeah, I just didn't feel like that was him. That's just not something Gabriel would do, you know? When I learned that, he was forced by somebody, it's just like, okay, understood. Willing to take hostages like he did in the junkyard. Man has changed a lot, and I like that. Nancy has. Gabriel's definitely a fighter now, and I still love him a lot. He's pretty darn cool. Let's see, who do we have next? Dwight, I want to say for a little bit towards the end, because he's kind of very important. Abraham's on this list. which is kind of annoying. I don't know where he is or like why he's not on here, but I'll say the way he went out was was disappointing because I feel like Abraham totally would have want to go out guns blazing instead. He would not have wanted to be beaten down at gunpoint. He would have wanted to go blowing crap up if he was gonna die. You know what I mean? So it's kind of disappointing that Abraham died in such a sad way compared like what he wanted to, or what he would have wanted to. But he did leave us with a great one-liner. Suck my nuts, Negan, which was funny as hell. I love that. Eventually, though, for the finale, he did make a cameo in a flashback that Sasha had, which I thought was pretty nice of him to see him again, so I liked that. So if I had Abraham here, I'd still put him in love because he's really funny, and it's a shame that he died. Sasha, on the other hand, now, this is something different. Normally, I just put Sasha in hate because she always came off as just a rude person to me, and she had this really just stint of completely stupid madness that I hated in season 5. Season 6, not so much cuckoo like she was, but still not, someone I liked. Season 7, she redeemed herself. That's right. She redeemed herself after 4 seasons of just me not liking her. She actually did something really cool, and I think for the season, I'm going to say I like her, and I'll explain why. Well, for one, she completely dropped the psycho act, and she was basically a team player, and I like that. She went from, I felt she was kind of selfish and only cared about, Tyrese, basically earlier in her time in the show, but now she felt like much more like a team player. Specifically, though, what catches me, or what I like, is just the finale alone. She basically just redeems herself. But there was one thing to note before that. One thing I didn't necessarily like that she did was she locked Rosita out of the compound and went in alone when both of them went over to Xavier's compound. And it goes for both of them, just both Rosita, who I'm going to do next, and Sasha. I really didn't like their attitude of just like, I'm going to put my life on the line to kill Negan. I'm not going to care about anything else. If I die, I die. It's for the greater good. Like, consider people back home, or consider if you fail. Like, I don't know. I just find that dumb. But basically, what she did saved Alexandria just enough time to fight. She killed herself in her coffin on the way to Alexandria to attack whoever opened the coffin, and that happened to be Negan. Basically, just saved Alexandria enough time that they can fight for. They can fight and come back from being stuck at gunpoint the entire time in that little debacle they had. And also, Eugene gets bonus points for making said pill. And Eugene, he's changed quite a bit. I like that. Right, Rosita. I have a lot written about her because she does really... I don't know if I say she shines this season, because there's a lot I don't like about her, but there's a lot I do like about her. But she definitely steps up since Abraham's gone. She makes her voice known. So Rosita and Eugene teaming up to make ammo was pretty cool earlier in the season. It was like an episode before the mid-season finale. Thought that was really nice of them. Rosita laying into Eugene for a bullet, but I don't know why she thinks that she would get anywhere, and that's exactly what happened. She's like, Eugene, you're just pussy. You're just a pussy, Eugene. Like, make this damn bullet. I don't care. I thought that was really cool of her to just kind of bully Eugene. Actually, that's not nice. I don't like that. But she didn't get anywhere exactly. She fired that bullet trying to kill Negan and failed. She doesn't care if her life's put in danger. She just wants to kill Negan and make everyone happier, which I can understand why. I just think that she needs to consider everybody else. She can't just do it for herself, and that's something that happens in Season 8 with Negan and Rick. Not going to delve into Season 8. I did start the first episode, so I do know some things, but I'm not going to include those here. But she needed to, just get rid of the selfish, idea of wanting revenge for Abraham, or, I don't know. It's just, ugh. So, as for what I think of Rosita, I don't know. I didn't like her attitude this entire season. I didn't like her attitude, especially towards the end. Once she gets... In fact, no, the whole season is just... I don't know. I'm not a fan of her. I'm going to put her in neutral. I don't truly dislike it or hate her, but I'm just not a fan of her attitude throughout this whole season. It just put me off. Did not like it. Eugene. Let's get to him. First of all, as I explained, he made a pill that Sasha used, so he indirectly hurt the Saviors, but, you know, oh well. So let's see. Eugene committing treason against Alexandria. Now that's a big thing right there. He was captured by the Saviors. He was taken back to the compound after pissing himself a few times. He joined the Saviors. He took their side, and immediately, like, Negan's like, I want to ask who are... And before he could even finish, Negan is... before he could even finish, Eugene is just... Right on, I'm Negan. I'm 100% wholeheartedly Negan. And I'm just like, okay, he's fully on their side now. Now, a lot of people would probably be like, dude, he's a traitor. What the hell? I actually agree with this choice. And I like it. Eugene isn't the most strong individual, so he needs protection of the Saviors. He has the brains, and he has the power to help the Saviors, as long as they just keep him safe and provide him with home and a safe home, which is something he didn't have in Alexandria. He had fresh food, he had a nice house, or a nice room, and he's able to support the people that are supporting him. And I think that's great. So a lot of people would be like, dude, what the hell, Negan? Like, why would you join Negan? He's literally, he was, like, killed your best friend, Abraham. Like, what the hell? Abraham saved your ass. I think it's great. I like seeing Eugene now being a bad guy, because he's a character that I love, and he's my favorite character on the show currently, and I felt like he wasn't doing a whole lot. One thing I want to point out that Negan made a good point is that Rick really never utilized Eugene's smarts. That's something that Negan immediately took advantage of. Rick never took advantage of Eugene's smarts. He was underutilized. He slept on my boy, and I didn't like that. But the fact that Eugene just flipped on a dime really adds something new to his character. I love it. Eugene goes in love. And, you know, I feel if it was really any other character, I don't think I would like it. But because Eugene is, one, my favorite, and two, I feel like, you know, he has so much potential as a villain, too, with his brain and being all, you know, smarty pants. I think it's great. And also, one bonus point for him is freaking nerding out, just playing games and talking chemistry with girls. That's it. That's just beautiful. I love it. We're gonna start skipping through some freak bags here. Sherry set Daryl free. I say I like her for that. She's pretty nice of her to do that. Olivia got her brains blown out. She's just kind of a side character. Nothing too important there. Jared goes in hate. In fact, he gets his own tier. Because he's just such a freaking dickhead. Oh my god. Oh, I hate him so much. All he does is show up when the kingdom needs to give supplies to the Saviors, and he just goofs off and pisses everyone off, and he gets away with it. Because if the kingdom can't retaliate, they'll be friggin' killed. You know, like, it's obnoxious, this guy. I hate him so much. And he shot Ben for no good reason. Ugh. Screw you, Jared. I hate you. Who else is there? Enid. What do I have written for her? Absolutely nothing. I guess, her and Carl are getting lovey-dovey, neutral. I don't know. Your face looks dumb. Tara. What do I have written down for her? Tara. Spilled the beans and told everyone about the guns at Oceanside. I don't know. That's it. She survived being washed up on a beach. She's kind of funny. She wears goofy glasses. I like her, I guess. Richard has quite a bit of a story here, and he's one that I'm kind of torn on, honestly, now that I know what happened. Basically, he wanted to go out of his way, and he wanted to start killing Saviors. He wanted to go to war with them. He wanted to fight, but the king said, nope, not doing that. We don't want to cause any issues. Everything that so far has been fine between us with the Saviors, so let's just not do that. But he went off anyways, and he tried to do that. At first, he teamed up with Daryl to try and ambush the Saviors and do some damage to them. But when Daryl learned that he just made the tracks of the guns go straight back to Carol, Daryl just said, nope, I can't do that. I'm not going to put Carol's life in danger. Couldn't do that. And left Richard. Then Richard set up a roadblock later on so that he could hide a cantaloupe, so that he could cause some trouble. Basically, if you're working for the Saviors, you have to be on time, and you have to give exactly what they say. So 12 cantaloupes is 12 cantaloupes. If you have 11, someone dies. Yeah. And Ben died over a cantaloupe. See, that's the thing. I was so on Richard's side about fighting everybody, and but the way he kind of set it up so that Carol would get, all this, getting put in danger basically for this attack that he wanted to do. I didn't like that. And on top of that, he hit a cantaloupe, and his plan was to get himself killed. He just wanted to do something to hurt the saviors. I don't know. I'm not sure what he was trying. He just I'm not sure, man. He wanted to get killed. But basically, that was his plan. He hid the cantaloupe that he would get killed, but Jared shot Ben instead. So he indirectly killed Ben, and Ben really didn't need to die. So I want to put him in neutral because I don't know. I really sided with him, but he just by the end he made some really just I don't know choices that I wasn't a fan of. He's one that is a tough choice for me to put, and if I like him or not, because I really did like him, but I don't like the things he did by the end of his life. Um, but eventually Morgan choked him the hell out. So yeah. Speaking of Morgan, Morgan here changed quite a bit through this season alone. Obviously, earlier he was teaching Ben Aikido, which I think is really nice. And then he had a section of I can't fight the saviors. I don't want to fight the saviors. I don't think we should fight them. We should just work it out. I'm like, Morgan, you did this before. You're like, let's talk it out with the saviors. The saviors don't talk. Okay, either you listen to them or you die. Okay, there's no discussion about it. And he did that twice, and I'm just like, come on, Morgan, you should know better. But eventually, he learned Glenn and Abraham were killed by these guys, and later on, something else that massively fueled it was Ben dying, because Ben was basically like a new son to Morgan. He really had a good bond with him, teaching him. Um, and after Ben died, something just snapped, and he killed his second kill after going pacifist. He killed Richard. Then he went off and started fighting the Saviors. So, yeah, Morgan overall, I'm not a fan of his like I don't want to fight anybody style, but he changed. He changed by the end, and I like that. And overall, I like Morgan in general. It's nice to see him change back to his old self. He even had a moment where he's just like clear, clear, clear. And it's just like going bananas in his head. Spencer, I don't know, it's just locked onto him. Spencer is, ugh, he's a dick. Just put it bluntly. Didn't like the way Rick ran the place. Thought Rick was going to get everyone killed. And he was, I guess he kind of pinned the blame of his mom and brother and dad. Basically, he pinned the blame of everybody that his family that died on Rick, despite that not being Rick's fault. Deanna got scratched up on her own. Pete murdered his dad, and his brother was blown up by a grenade, basically. So, yeah, I don't know. Spencer really had a meanie. It was just a meanie, really. He pinned all this death on Rick. He was also very selfish. He had guns and food, and hiding that gun was bad because Negan got really pissed off and nearly killed Olivia over that gun. Eventually, Rick found the two guns that were missing that Spencer had hid. And, man, that's just really wrong of him. But what really ticks me off, he wants Rick dead because he just doesn't like him. He wanted to be the leader of Alexandria. He believed he would be a better leader. And you know what? Just like Negan said, he didn't have the guts. Didn't have the guts to go and kill Rick himself. So he wanted Negan to do it for him. Negan's like, hey, and that's just real spineless of you. How about this? I'll make you a deal. And then he stabs Spencer right in the gut, and all his guts come out, and Negan does find out that, yeah, Spencer has guts. But not the kind, the theoretical kind, or whatever those are. Yeah, Spencer, I hate you, man. He's just, I don't know, he kind of made stupid choices in Season 6, and then he really flushed himself down the toilet in 7 by basically just straight up saying, I'm gonna bribe you to kill Rick, or something along those lines, you know? Oh, man. Next up is, I don't know who this is. It looks like it's Cindy, but not. I'll put you in neutral. This chick, she looks stupid. I'll put her in dislike. Same with this person. Actually, I think this is one of Negan's wives, so you go neutral. This person, again, I don't recognize. It looks like Maggie, but it's not. It really does look like her. Neutral. Who is this? Man, I don't recognize these people. Neutral. Friggin', who is this? Neutral. This person. Neutral. Now we're left with frickin' Trevor. We'll go with Trevor, okay? So, basically, I don't know. Simon just... I, I have nothing written. There's nothing in particular. He just comes off as a funny and cool villain, alright? That's all I can say. I just like him. He's just neat. Simon's cool. That's all I got for him. Oh yeah, about Jared. I have something written about Jared here. I didn't kind of overlooked. Jared is literally the biggest dick in the whole show. Complete dick to everybody and gets away with it because he has the saviors on his side. And if there's any retaliation, he gets the kingdom's people killed. And it's kind of just the same with Negan too. Like you just can't do anything to him because the saviors will kill you. So Jesus, he's very important in this season. I only have a couple things written down for him. Jesus fighting Gregory to no end just to give Maggie and Sasha a safe place to stay. I really like that. Early in the season, his conflict was simply internal. He's just like, Gregory, you know, you're stupid. You don't know how to run this place. I could do it better. And then Gregory's like, oh, I'm gonna kick you out, not the dark. You know, really good guy there. Okay, linking the kingdom and Hilltop and Alexandria all together to fight was cool. Really is important because without him, basically there would be no fight in the finale to really just send a message to the saviors like we're not gonna give up. You know what I mean? So he basically, you know, got everyone together to fight, which is really good of him. And is there anything else I'm missing? I think I'm missing when he went on that truck ride with Carl was pretty cool. I like that. And yeah, I think most importantly, Jesus spent the entire season trying to get everyone together to fight, and he got it, and it was successful. And his name's funny too, so I love him. He's really cool. Dwight. Now he's changed quite a bit in very short time. So I have a lot written down about Dwight. Dwight is just a dick early in the season. He's just kissing Negan's ass. And basically, he's just doing what saviors do in general. But about near the end of the season, he starts to do something different. One, he goes searching for his girlfriend, who just suddenly disappears, and then he frames, so he doesn't get himself hurt. He frames the doctor to make it seem like his wife Sherry helps free Daryl and run from the compound. But she did it all on her own. The doctor had nothing to do with it. Neither did Dwight. Neither did Negan. Nobody had this. But basically, Dwight got this poor doctor shoved into a furnace. What a dick. But an important one is right at the end of this season. He changes. He actually takes Rick's side. He is sick of Negan. He is sick of the damage he's done to his life, his wife, and he just hates everything going on at the Saviors. He hates them. So he actually takes Rick's side. I think that's great. Now, stuff didn't go according to plan. He had a plan, and it sort of worked, but it turns out that the scavengers were not on Rick's side despite spending so much time helping them prepare to fight alongside scavengers. That's the word. There you go. Double-crossed them. And Dwight didn't know, so I feel like, you know, he kind of feels bad that stuff didn't go to plan despite him going to Rick's side. Now, I don't think a lot of the damage he did throughout the season doesn't really save him from that. I'm going to put him in neutral. I kind of would have put him in dislike if he hadn't changed his mind at the end. But I'm really interested to see for seasoning how he's going to play into Rick's hand, how he's going to help Rick. Because it does seem now that he's genuinely... Like, I wouldn't have trusted him. But it does seem like he genuinely wants to help Rick and taking down the Savior. So, yeah. Dwight's going to be an interesting one. And now we're left with the main antagonist and the main protagonist. Well, as usual, I'm going to do Rick last. But Negan, I got a lot to say about Negan. Like, holy crap. Alright, Negan. Negan is an absolute fucking bastard. He killed Abraham and Glenn for shits and giggles. Treated Rick like garbage. Pushed him to literally the breaking point. And made Rick believe that he's about to chop off Carl's arm just to survive. That is just the sickest, most just despicable person. What a horrible villain he is. Like, he's a bad guy. Like, they just make it straight clear off the mark. Like, they killed two popular, loved characters that are two major characters. by his hands. Then he kills Spencer, who wasn't really nice, but is still another major character, you know? Like, Jesus Christ. They set him up to be one hell of a villain, and that's exactly what he is. But the thing is, he's kind of funny. I like that. He has a great sense of humor, and he makes me laugh basically any time he's on the screen. So, yeah, Negan is kind of... Oh, yeah, oh boy, I'll have to get to that at the end. Negan's forcing women to be his wives, or else the wives' family will die, which is just really sick, and he needs help. At least he's against rape. That's the only thing, yeah. Negan killed Spence. Good. But he also ordered Olivia to be killed. Not necessarily directly, just told one of his people to just go kill. So... Oh, wait. Is that... Oh, one of these people is... Oh, who is it? Oh, crap, I just remembered. I think it's this one? It's this chick, Arat. Her name's Arat. You go in Hate, right? I believe that's who it is. Is one of Negan's people. She killed Olivia. I believe that's her. I'm not entirely sure, but it looks like her. Maybe. I don't know. I find her stupid. I hate her. If in case that is Arat, you go and hate because you're a stinky ass. Negan making fun of Carl's eye and making him cry. That's just really mean of him, you know. But I say, despite all the horrible things, basically just killing people and taking their stuff, and just being a complete dick the entire show. You know, anyone that tries to attack him, he treats like crap, and keeps them hostage most of the time, like, you know, Daryl and Sasha. But he is a funny guy, and I think that's why I like him. I still don't like him as much of a villain as the Governor, because Governor is just pure evil, power hungry. At least unlike the Governor, he has a sense of humor, and he, you know, plays around and isn't just straight up brute force at 90% of the time. And I think that sense of humor does, you know, make me like him a bit. Otherwise, if he wasn't funny, I don't think I'd like him at all. I wouldn't like him at all. He's a villain that I like, but I hate. He's a villain that you hate him so much that you like it. Like, he's a well-written villain, you know? So I would say I like Negan. I don't love him, but there's a lot of funny moments of him, and he's solidified himself as a grade A bastard. And there's one thing I want to point out about Negan that I think is so true, and it's that he is without a doubt 100% a pussy. He is soft. You know it. The only reason he talks shit and acts like this is because he's got all those armed men around him. He's got all those saviors to keep him safe. But if it weren't for those saviors being there, Rick would put him on his ass and kill him, without a doubt. No doubt about that. Finally, Rick, the main man. I don't have a lot written down about him, I don't think. Basically, broken mentally in episode 1, was willing to take off Carl's arm to live. He was pushed to his breaking point in that first episode. And it's crazy to see that, because Rick doesn't really break that much. It doesn't happen too often. But Negan was very easily able to do that, and he was just willing to do anything to keep his friends alive and get them out of this hell of this you know, just prevent, you know, all this saviors crap, that he was willing to cut off Carl's arm, except didn't go through with it because Negan told him not to. But yeah, it's interesting to see like Rick just break down. Like, that doesn't happen all that much. Accepted the situation he's in, and honestly, I agree he's doing the right thing. Just stay on Negan's good side and you'll be fine. That is for the first half of the season. Then he decides to take action because it's kind of necessary at that point. Like, everyone's life is in danger, and Negan, he just didn't want to be living like that, you know, with Negan basically having him under his thumb the whole time. But I like Rick's, you know, way of thinking. Same with Ezekiel. Just stay on their good side. Nothing will go wrong. I mean, stuff will go wrong, but, you know, accept that they are now your new people. Like, they own you, and just do the right thing. Be on their good side. But of course, that doesn't last forever. Slicing up shit of zombies with Michonne on the highway was pretty cool. I think that was episode 9. I like that. That's something that bonus points for Michonne as well. I think that was really cool. And especially my friend's favorite moment of Rick ever, apparently, in the entire show, his angry speech right in Negan's face about how he's going to kill Negan. All the Negans, no matter what. And I agree. It is a pretty badass moment. It takes some nuts to get up in Negan's face and just tell him again, just remind him, hey, remember 16 episodes ago when I said I'm going to kill you? Here's a reminder. I'm going to kill you. You will not win. I'm going to take you down myself. You're already dead. You will die. I will kill you. Like, he's even at a point where he's like, you could go and kill Carl. You can go and chop my hands off. You can maim me. You can do whatever the hell you want, but I will kill you. Like, Rick is just pissed beyond, and you can see it throughout the entire thing. Like, episode 4, episode 8. Like, anytime that Negan is at Alexandria, he's furious, and you can see it in his eyes. And I'd say this is a Rick that I love, because he changes quite a bit. He goes from I like the entire season. I agree with him. There's nothing particular that I disliked about him. He starts off the season basically, this is our new world. This is the new life we live. We just got to accept it. Then when he realizes, and when the viewer realizes, this stuff ain't gonna hold if you just do what they want you to, is when he takes action, and I love that. So, Rick, really good this season. Hope he can keep up that love, because Rick kind of is honestly one of the characters that fluctuate the most. Seeing as he's the main character, he's got a lot of screen time and all that. So that's a materialist. That's what I think of everyone in season 7. Again, there are a lot of dudes in here that either just like showed up for one friggin' scene I don't even remember the name of. That's why there's a lot neutral. But they introduce a lot of characters this season, and a lot of them are kind of just, Now, how about the season itself? I know a lot of people seem to dislike season 7. Where do I stand on it? Stretch. Oh, my back. I liked it, sort of. I felt there were a lot of episodes that were just two people talking the entire time, and that's it. Just too much human conflict, and that's something I'm really not a fan of. Like, I don't mind human conflict. It can be great. It can. Season 3 and at the end of season 6. Human conflict it works in this show, but it was the sole focus. The walkers barely showed up this season. Like, there was times where, like, episode 16, I literally had one walker, and that was Sasha. That's it. That's the only walker. And there's times where I'm counting, like, we've only had, like, 5 this so far, and we're, like, 3/4 through the episode. Like, what? I think they're focusing too much on human conflict. Apparently that's just the case with season 8. I don't think that's for the show called The Walking Dead. I'm expecting more when it comes to the dead that are walking. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I think it was an alright season. It's not bad. It's still enjoyable, and I still enjoyed most of the episodes. Actually, honestly, I don't think there was an episode of this season where I didn't really, like, I wasn't interested or didn't like it. I'd say for basically all these episodes, I was either neutral or like about them. Of course, there are a couple standouts, like episode 8, episode 11, episode 1, that I love just because they're just crazy, and there's big plot points in there. The finale, apparently is a really good episode according to my friend, but I found it a little messy in the directing part. Like, stuff was kind of all over the place, and then it really picked up and got good at the end. But for season 7, I'm gonna be real. I know people would probably be like, dude, you're on crack, but I want to say I liked it more than season 5. I'm gonna be real. Like, this season was not bad by any means. There definitely are points where it's just like, where are the walkers at, or this episode's kind of dragging. There's not a whole lot going on, but I don't know. I like the whole everyone realizing we need to do something and bringing everyone together in the end to fight. It's the same thing I liked about season 6, episode 9. It's just everyone coming together to fight. I love that. People being a big group and fighting for a good cause in a post-apocalyptic world. That's a good thing. So, yeah, I liked season 7, kind of. Like, it's on the brink of, like, and like, but I'd say I liked it for the most part. Yeah. this could definitely be. There can definitely be things that are improved in this. You could probably just cut this thing down to like 13 or 12 episodes, and it would still fit nice. But it's not horrible by any means, and I don't even think it's bad. I think it's just there. It's right in the middle. It's all right. So that is my season 7 Walking Dead characters tier list, and what I thought about the season, where I placed it among the others. Hope you enjoyed this, and hopefully season 8 is not as bad as people say, because apparently it's a real turd. I don't know. And hopefully I don't have to deal with even more characters, or I'm going to be very, very annoyed. This video is probably an hour long. I didn't actually check the length. So my voice is dead. I've probably said what, like about 1,000,000 times in this video, and I'm sure it came out pretty crap and I didn't talk enough about people, but what are you going to do about it? I'd rather enjoy the show than write down tier list notes, you know what I mean? That's enough rambling. So yeah, I will see you in the next one at Season 8, which will be probably only like a week from now, yeah. I'm going to hammer out Season 8. We're going to have fun with that one. So I'll see you then. Goodbye.